They say certain songs stay with you, and none quite like the eerie tune from Jeepers Creepers. It's haunting, unforgettable, and made all the more chilling by a disturbing truth. The opening scenes of that horror film closely mirror a real-life crime that happened on a lonely back road in Michigan. In the spring of 1990, Ray and Marie Thornton were driving along Snow Prairie Road, a quiet stretch of farmland in southern Michigan. It was peaceful, uneventful, until a brown, beat-up van came roaring up behind them. It sped past aggressively, forcing them to the shoulder. Marie took note of the plate. It started with GZ. She muttered something like, "Geez, he must be in a hurry," as the van disappeared over the hill. Minutes later, they saw it again. The same van was parked beside a crumbling, abandoned schoolhouse. Behind the building, a man was struggling with something, what looked like a white sheet stained in red. He seemed to be pushing it down into the ground, or a hole. The couple slowed down, disturbed. But it wasn't over. As they continued down the road, the van returned, this time riding their bumper, close and aggressive. They could see it clearly in the mirror, but never the face of the driver, just a white cap pulled low. The couple began to feel something was terribly wrong. They decided to turn back. When they passed the schoolhouse again, the van was still there. Its passenger door was open. Inside, they saw blood. On the seat, the door frame, dark stains where there shouldn't be any. Still, they didn't drive to the police. Not yet. They circled back again, determined to understand what they had just witnessed. That old schoolhouse still stands today, weathered, isolated, surrounded by open fields. It was behind that building that Dennis Depew was seen, just hours after he murdered his ex-wife, Marilyn. The sheet the Thorntons had seen, it covered her body. He was trying to dump the evidence. Alone, frantic, in broad daylight. The crime was featured months later on an episode of Unsolved Mysteries, the kind that stuck in the back of viewers' minds. One of those viewers recognized Dennis Depew. By then, he had vanished. He'd changed his name, moved to Texas, and started a new life. When the police closed in, he ran again. And during the final confrontation in Mississippi, he ended his own life. Today, Depew is buried in a quiet cemetery not far from where the crime took place. His grave lies in a family plot, simple and unassuming. Marilyn is buried elsewhere, in a separate cemetery under her maiden name, far from the man who took her life. Her marker had sunk into the ground over the years, nearly forgotten, until it was uncovered again by chance. Cemetery staff have since promised to raise and care for the stone properly. Looking back, the story feels eerily familiar. A couple, driving down a country road, a strange vehicle, a man hiding something dark behind a building. It's almost scene for scene with the movie. But unlike the supernatural horror of Jeepers Creepers, this story had no creature, just a real man driven by rage. The creators of the film never officially stated that this case was the inspiration, but anyone familiar with both can feel the connection. The similarities are too close to ignore. What started as a chilling piece of fiction was rooted in something disturbingly real. Over the years, others have explored the true crimes behind famous horror movies: The Exorcist, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Scream, The Hills Have Eyes, but this one feels different. It happened out here in the middle of nowhere, a school that's now silent, a road that still sees passing cars, but never quite the same story. What Ray and Marie saw that day helped solve a murder. What they experienced became something else entirely, a ghost story told in Hollywood. But the real fear, the real horror, happened right here, under an open sky, beside a forgotten building, on a forgotten road. And the echoes of that day, they're still blowing in the wind.